Alright, we're back. So we're on Monday, day 2 technically. And we've already given Hal the forms, the report forms. So we're gonna run over to the police academy and get some practice in at the range. Turn this down a little bit. Alright. That's it. Okay. May need to stop by SID and see if she's down there. I don't think she is, though.
Somebody sure must work hard to keep these floors so shiny. These walls get painted every 5 years or so. The elevator doors. This lights up when the elevator arrives. It's an ordinance in all city buildings to post evacuation routes. The elevator call button. Detective, leave it in place. Feels like a wall, a Parker Center wall. Remove the light and nobody will know when the elevator has arrived. Detective, you'd need the strength of Superman to pull those open. Oh, what a smooth finish this floor has. You call the elevator. The elevator is devoid of other passengers. The elevator.
Base floor communications.
What you see is what you get, Carey. What are you reaching for? Step in if you want to lift. What are you...
6th floor headquarters of the Chiefs. 7th floor anti-terrorist headquarters. 4th floor property. 5th floor personnel. 2nd floor records and identification. 3rd floor detectives headquarters, better known as the working man's floor. Basement SID. Main lobby Parker Center. This button holds the elevator open for slow movers. This button allows you to close the door sooner than later. This is the alarm bell. Press this button in case of emergency. Nice.
Quit fooling around, Carey. You don't have an emergency. Don't panic. Don't be playing with the buttons. Choose a floor, Detective. Don't be playing with the buttons, Carey. Choose a floor.
That's funny. 1/3, so let's go up to 4th.
You select the 4th floor as your destination.
I don't think property is available either right now.
Fourth floor hallway, Parker Center. The floor shines. 4th floor hallway. The elevator doors are closed. Those are elevator call buttons. It's a city-approved and purchased trash can. Entrance into property. The 4th floor hall. 4th floor hall. 4th entrance. You can't reach the door from where you are. Grabby, aren't you? Grabby. Pulling those doors open requires more strength than you have. The floor is as clean as a whistle. Carey, there's no need to open this up and look inside. Ron Ball, bomb expert, killed in the line of duty. Carey, it's a memorial. Don't remove it. That would be disrespectful.
So we can't go any further down here. Let's go down here. I think it's closed. Yep.
The roll cage is down. Property is closed. These are the call buttons for property. You're at the property counter in Parker Center. You're at the roll cage is... These are... You ring the bell, but receive no answer. You ring the bell, but receive... You ring the... It's locked from the inside. Besides, Carey, if it's closed, it's closed. It's locked. Yep, feels like Parker Center. It's locked from the... Detective, to whom do you wish to speak?
Alright, so he's not here.
Pressing the button, you call the elevator. You select the 5th floor as your destination.
Go on, get out of here. I'm busy.
Since when did you become a janitor? This is a man's man. Better keep your big paws off him. A bucket of water. Boy, can he handle a mop. This is a working man. He doesn't have time for idle chit-chat. Soap talk? Soap talk? You select the 6th floor as your destination.
And he's back.
Hey, watch it.
This is a man's man. Better... This is a working... You select the 7th floor as your destination. The anti-terrorist officers sure take their job seriously, Detective. Are you kidding? This guy's armed with an Ingram MAC-10. He's trained to listen. He's trained to use hand signals only. You select the 8th floor as your destination. Leave this in place, move it, and someone could get hurt. Forget the chatter, get to work. Under construction. In other words, no access. You select the basement as your destination.
Oh, I can hear people like hammering. That's cool. This ID's closed. I like the elevator music.
No time to sit and relax, Carey. You've got a case to solve. Feels like Parker Center. The floor is as clean as a whistle. This isn't your workspace. Keep moving, Carey. Feels like Parker Center. Authorized personnel only. This is bolted to the wall. You can't remove it. Feels like If you want to get to SID, move closer. Feels like Parker Center.
Oh, SID. I think I was calling it SIC.
Pulling those doors open requires more strength than you have. Detective, to whom do you wish to speak? Detective... Polygraph, SID.
Nice.
Last paint job, 1978. The elevator doors are closed. Last paint job, 1978. The floor shines. Parker Center desk, not currently needed. Parker Center office furniture, not currently needed. Entrance door to SID.
SID, polygraph section, hours 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. That's cool. So you can't go anywhere else. We can go down here.
The door's closed, so must be SID.
SID Crime Lab, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, 7:30 to 1800. They should have put it like that. Oh, 7:30 to 1800. Too bad if you can't read military time.
Leave it in place, Carey. Other people need to know this is SID. The wood is smooth from years of use. Carey, neither knocking nor pulling, opens the door.
Oh, I wonder if this is a pin. That's cool. It's got the attachment to it.
There is no one here to talk to. Look, the door is closed. The door's closed, so must be SID. SID is a large department. This is merely one area devoted to the scientific study of evidence. Feels just like a wall, a Parker Center wall.
All right.
Pressing the button, you call the elevator. You select the second floor as your destination.
Can't remember if I went here.
Hey, I'm cleaning here.
You select the lobby as your destination. What are you reaching for? Yep, feels like a wall. Stop. This is an official posting. Yep, feels like a wall. Maybe if you had the strength of Arnold, you could pry the doors open. And move the light, and nobody will know when the elevator has arrived. You can't take this off the wall. It's official signage. A disgusting mess today. Cigarette butts and candy wrappers. If you want a candy bar, you'll need to pay first. The elevator call buttons. The main lobby elevator bank. This lights up when the elevator arrives. It's the evacuation routes map to Parker Center. The walls are painted faux marble.
No smoking beyond this point.
The lobby vending machine, circa 1972.
Nice.
The ashtray designates this as a smoking permitted area. And move the light, and maybe if you had the strength of Arnold, you could pry the doors open. What are you reaching for? Yep, feels...
Alright, so...
A disgusting mess. A disgusting mess today. Cigarette butts and candy wrappers.
So let's try to get something out of the machine.
You drop 65 cents into the slot. Carey, you already deposited 65 cents.
Man, 65 cents.
The lobby vending machine. Getting candy out of a machine is a little like winning a prize. If you want a chewy, crunchy, chocolatey candy bar. Candy is merely empty calories, something you can't afford.
Can't tell what it says. Bod bar or rod bar? It's hard to tell.
Carey, you can't afford the calories. Think healthy. Main lobby to Parker Center.
Parker Center visitors, check in at desk, jail visitors stay to the left. Check in at desk, jail visitors stay to the left. You almost don't even need this, you can see it.
Main lobby to Parker Center.
I will tell you this, I have been in here. I've been in this lobby actually. And the front doors are literally facing this guy. You walk in, there's a lot of seats right here. There's like a seat, a seat, a seat. You can kind of tell the difference. Like there's one seat here, one seat here, one seat there, trash can. I think, I'm not even kidding, I think this computer was still there when I went there back in 2004. and there were a couple officers sitting behind the desk. I don't remember if the Dare banner was there. I think the flags were there. The jail was to the left. I remember walking up to the counter, talking with them for a minute, and then we walked back this way. But when we went back here, it didn't look like this at all. It was different. It was like they had 2 elevators, I think, if I remember correctly, but you could go behind it, like back this way. Like there wasn't a wall here. So this might be another area of the lobby or something, or maybe back behind it. I want to say that you could walk this way and go back here around the other side of the elevators. Like there's these 2 elevators, and then opposite of this wall are 2 elevators facing the opposite way. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I don't know for sure, but I just know when we got over here, it looked different. It wasn't this. So they probably just took the picture to, you know, they wanted to set it the way they want it. But that reflection right there, that's the front doors, and that's what it really looked like. It was crazy being here because I played the game so many times, and then actually getting to be there and see that.
Detective, neat. You haven't solved the case yet. Why are you going to the jail?
It was pretty cool.
The sign is placed there for the public's information. Leave it. Detective, what are you reaching for? Detective, what are you reaching for? The counter feels old and worn. Leave the banner in place. It's a source of pride for the department. Refrain from such action. Show some respect. Detective, what are you Detective, what are you...
Feeling pretty bad, Detective? Maybe the wife and I could set you up with one of her single friends. You could come over for dinner, you know, informal like.
Dare to keep kids off drugs. In order, the flags are the Los Angeles Police Department seal, the City of Los Angeles flag, the California state flag, and the American flag.
Nice.
Main lobby to Parker Center. Officer Bill Linder, main lobby guard. This is the check-in desk for Parker Center for both employees and visitors alike.
Hello, Bill.
How's it going, Detective?
You're looking healthy these days, Bill. You working out?
Well, Detective, I try, but you know it's hard to get to the gym every day between work and family.
Read any good books lately, Bill?
Well, I read Chief, My Life in the LAPD. I learned a few things.
I read that book.
What's new, Bill?
Well, Detective, the wife and I are planning a vacation in Paris. I love French food.
I actually have the book, too. It was a good book by Chief Darrell F. Gates of LAPD. Really good.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Detective.
Hey, Bill. Seen any good movies lately?
Well, Detective, I haven't seen any new releases. The wife and I are mostly renting videos and catching up on the summer movies we missed.
How's the family?
I really don't know, Detective. I've been working a lot lately.
What's new, Bill?
Well, Detective, the wife and I are planning a vacation in Paris. I love French food.
You're looking healthy
Well, Detective...
You're looking... What's new, Bill? How's the family? You're looking healthy. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Seen any good movies? Read any good books? Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. You're looking healthy.
Well...
I know you asked him about, like, football.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. How's the family? What's new, Bill?
What?
Read any good book? Read any good... How about them Raiders?
Yeah, Raiders.
Love that team, Detective.
I knew there was something else.
Yes, sir, I realize you're a detective, and I'm not.
Excuse me.
Nice case, sir. I see that all you homicide detectives carry those. Detective, you're such a joker.
Detective, there is no justification for this tactical decision. Detective, there is no... Detective... Secure your ammunition. Secure.
Hey, that's not funny. Detective, you know I'm not eligible for a department car. Detective, I've been issued a pair. You know, I'm a regular cop, not a civilian employee.
Officer Linder's presence is not pertinent to your investigation.
Hey, that's a picture of you and Hickman. Too bad about what happened. You guys pretty close, huh? Having a performance anxiety, Detective? Don't worry. With a little practice, you'll be a sharpshooter.
Now, I know he'll eat that candy bar. I don't remember. I'm going to hold on to it and give it to him at the end of the day. I guess that's about it. So we'll head out. Actually, let me see.
What are you looking to collect? What are you... Calm down, Carey. Officer Linder's just doing his job.
Like he pissed him off or something.
There is no evidence here to collect. You're being overcautious, Carey. You're being... Save your batteries. You never know when you might have an emergency.
That is true.
Graffiti in Parker Center when hell freezes over. Graffiti. Feeling handy, like Mr. Fix-It, Carey?
All right.
Last night, the LAPD was shaken to its roots as Officer Robert Hickman, Police Officer of the year 1992, was found brutally slain in a South Central neighborhood. Heading up the Hickman investigation is veteran homicide detective John Carey. Carey is best known for solving the murder of Lane Blair, the stunning actress featured in many of the action-adventure Straight Shots movies. Detective Carey has been unavailable for comment, and all requests for a formal statement from the department have been denied. However, we have been told by an unofficial source that the department is looking at this as a gang killing. As the investigation continues... Oh, wait, here comes Detective Carey now. Detective Carey, over here. Kristy Bilden with KKAT. Detective Carey! Detective Carey, would you care to make a statement concerning the murder of Officer Hickman?
Yeah, about your best friend.
Good.
Kristy Bilden, reporter, KKAT TV.
Detective...
It's cameraman Joel Miller.
Get your camera out of my face.
Detective...
No comment. Get that camera out of my face.
Detective, would you care to comment on the cause of death? There have been reports coming out of the coroner's office that there were no gunshot wounds. Is that true?
No comment.
Detective, what are your gut instincts concerning this murder? Was Officer Hickman the hero the department made him out to be? Detective, violence against the force has increased in the last couple of years. In light of last night's events, what precautions is the department going to adopt? Detective Carey, there are unconfirmed reports that Officer Hickman was working undercover at the time of his death. Can you comment on what his assignment was? Was it related to the known drug traffic in that area? Detective Carey, people are talking about your personal relationship with the deceased. It's public record that you attended the academy with Hickman and were assigned patrol status together in the Hollenbeck area.
No comment.
I don't know if she says anything else or what. I guess not. Anyway,
She knows you're a cop. That's why she's interviewing you. He knows you're a detective. No need to flash him. Calm down, Carey. Bilden's just trying to further her career. Do her job. Calm down, Carey. The press has a right to interview you. You're a public servant. You can't buy this woman off. She's relentless. Trying to buy your way out of this, detective? Don't try to buy her off, Carey. She's relentless in her pursuit. Detective, he doesn't look like a candy eater. He's too skinny. Detective, he probably doesn't care about your friendship with Hickman.
Detective Carey, is that a photograph of yourself and Officer Hickman? Maybe you'd like to share that with our viewers.
He knows you work out of Parker Center. She knows perfectly well where you work.
that's your ID.
It's laminated.
Yeah, you have to put that on every time you go in. Parker Center. Anyway, so you need to click the hand on her.
What do you think you're doing? Hey! The physical abuse I have just experienced at the hands of Detective Carey is consistent with the treatment I've received from this entire department in trying to report this story. As a reporter and citizen of this city, I fear for our First Amendment rights. I'm Kristy Bilden, reporting for KKAT.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that in real life. Just run around her or something, find a way back around. Anyway, so we're here at Parker Center, central area. We got 77th Street, South Central LA, LA County Morgue and Hollenbeck area, Los Angeles Police Academy, North and East area, and Hickman's house, Northeast area. So we'll run over to the Academy first. I've been there too. It's really awesome. And when I went in, I actually did go up these stairs. I couldn't go inside, the doors were locked, but I could look around. It looked the same. Really neat.
The LAPD motto: the more you sweat here, the less you will bleed on the street.
That's right.
It's the front door to the shooting range office. Looking through the window, there appears to be room on the range for an additional shooter. Built of stone and determination. The LAP. Carey, you're in luck. The range is open.
Let's shoot schedule Monday and Tuesday. I can't tell whether it's something only and then the times.
Carey, you're in luck. Don't mess with the sign, Carey. It ain't your job. It's rough and ready, like all the cadets that come out of the academy. Everywhere you go, California stucco. This is the police academy. The windows are clean, Carey. The LA talking won't open it, Carey. Try a more conventional method. You turn the knob and open the door, Detective.
Howdy, partner. You're here mighty early. Ain't scheduled to qualify till Wednesday. You planning on a little practice shooting today?
If I remember correctly, though, when I looked through the window, this is what it looked like. I saw a counter or something like this. It was hard to tell. Yeah, I can't remember if there was a tree there. I'm sure there was. Yeah, it's cool, man.
Hey there, partner. What you reaching for? Hey there, partner. You're getting kind of friendly there, cowboy. Too many nights out on the prairie all by your lonesome? Hey there, partner. You can admire them all you want. Just don't be leaving here with them. Hey there, partner. What's your... Hey there, Hey there. Hey there. Hey there.
This is the range office at the police academy. The door leads to the academy campus. It's Bert Arnold, department armorer. These trophies were won in marksmanship competitions against other cities' police departments. Those are qualification forms.
Alright, so let's save it. Which form? Form 13.5.0 or Form 13.5.1? Don't remember because it's been a minute since I've played this. One of them's for when you're not qualifying and one of them is for when you are qualifying. Let me look real quick. Alright, had to pull the book out, the manual. So, let's see here. Use of firearms, 5.56. We could try that. Except I think that's just, yeah, deadly force. Well, let's see what else we got. Monthly shooting qualification. There we go. Okay, so 258. We're going to do this right. 258. Huh. Or was it right after that? Not seeing it. It's under general management. It's weird. They didn't include it. They have it in the index, but they don't have it. Really don't have it in here. That's so weird. Thought I would find it. General provisions. Monthly. Oh, there it is. The heck, I guess I was looking under the wrong volume. Management Rules and Procedures, Volume 3. General Management Procedures, Monthly Shooting Qualification 258. All officers, line reserve officers, and security officers shall qualify in the prescribed manner as required in 3.258.02. This qualification shall take place at a range under the supervision of the Los Angeles Police Department. Ear protectors, all department personnel who are on the firing range of any department range when live firing is taking place shall wear ear protection provided by the department on personal ear protector or personal ear protectors of a type approved by the department armor. Failure to meet qualification requirement, exemption to requirement to qualify, vacation exemptions. Let's say which. Okay, here we go. So, city-paid ammunition. City-paid ammunition may be used by an officer for either the scheduled qualification shoot during any period or the bonus qualification shoot during those periods when he is scheduled to shoot the target course. An officer, reserve officer, or security officer desiring to use city-paid ammunition for qualification shall present his identification card to the range officer and shall sign his name and serial number on a qualification bonus shoot record form 13.5.0, which is the green form. So it's probably this one then for regular shooting, and then this one for qualification. Each officer and each security officer who has been employed as such for 1 year or longer shall be entitled to 30 rounds of city-paid ammunition per period for qualification. An officer or security officer who has been employed for 1 year or longer, failing to qualify with city-paid ammunition, shall purchase the additional ammunition necessary and shall sign his name and serial number on a qualification bonus shoot record form 13.5.1 buff, I guess buff colored, each time he makes additional attempts to qualify. An officer or a security officer who has been employed for 1 year or longer may submit only one green card in any qualification period. He may submit as many plain cards as necessary for him to qualify. So, security officers in their first year of employment and reserve officers will be permitted to use city-paid ammunition for each attempt to qualify until the qualification requirements have been fulfilled. Reserve officers and security officers in their first year of employment shall sign their names and serial numbers on a qualification bonus shoot record form 13.5.0 green each time ammunition is used for qualification. However, a reserve officer or a security officer in his first year of employment may be required to undergo remedial firearms training when he fails to qualify after several attempts. An exception would be city-paid ammunition shall not be furnished for the initial attempt to qualify during those periods when factory ammunition must be used for qualification. Officers failing to qualify with factory ammunition shall be required to purchase the ammunition needed for subsequent attempts to qualify. Reload ammunition may be used for subsequent attempts to qualify. So, it looks like record form. Has been employed as such for 1 year or longer shall be entitled 30 rounds. It's so weird. It's not really specifying which one. I think the green one is for qualification, mainly. So Huh. They're acting like the buff colored one, the tan one, I guess, is for, like, other attempts to qualify.
You fill the form out according to department specifications.
I mean, I think this is it.
Qualification Form 13.5.1. Thicker than paper, thinner than cardboard.
Well, that there's the official way, but you don't need to ID with me, partner. I know you. Partner, I know who you are. Remember, you're talking to Bert here.
I don't think I had to put this on either.
There's no need to wear your Parker Center ID at this time.
Alright, so... I already saved it, so let's try this.
Filled out and ready to go, Bert.
Thank you, partner.
Those are CCI Blazer 9mm 115 grain.
I think I have to pay for it.
City ain't rich, partner. Pony up. Thank you, partner.
Detective, that's the headgear you're required to wear during range shooting.
How are you, Bert?
Well, cowboy, I ain't complaining. Life's good.
What's new, Bert?
Well, not much, partner. Y'all come down once a month. Seems everything's pretty much same as last time. Feeling kind of chatty there, partner? You ought to think about getting yourself a filly.
You pick up the headgear. Department ear protectors, a must on the range. CCI Blazer 9mm 115 grain. The box is heavy. The ear protectors appear to be well maintained. There's no need to reload at this time.
Well, listen, cowboy, you need those out on the range. You return them when you're done shooting. That's for you, partner. Go ahead and take it.
I wonder if he wants the candy bar.
Oh, cowboy, you trying to fatten me up?
Alright. Let's do this. Oh, wait. Can I show him this?
Yes, sir. This here memo states you're to qualify. It's a once-a-month deal, partner.
Alright. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna head over to out to the range. I'm gonna have to look over that. But I did the right one. It's the buff card, and then the green one I think is for qualification. When it's city paid. Okay. And when it's additional, you're paying out of pocket. I think that's what it is. Okay. I'll have to look at it later. Sorry for the wait.
Officer Fuller, SWAT Commander.
Officers, take your field positions, please.
The range is divided into two areas, the field and the observation area. These are buckets used for spent brass. The range is divided. Officer Fuller is handling a firearm. This would not be a good time for a personal encounter. What are you reaching for, Carey? What are you These stay where they are. It's not up to you to move them. Fuller looks very intent on what he's doing. Better not disturb him.
Officers, take your field positions, please.
Officer Fuller has his own protection. Officer Fuller has his own ammunition, Carey. He doesn't need yours.
I wonder if I can load it with
No need to reload. Your Beretta 92F is fully loaded.
Okay.
Those two items don't go together.
Alright, so we'll put the headgear on.
Officers, headgear on.
On.
All firearms to low ready.
No need.
Phase 1. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Gun to low ready. Prepare for phase 2. Phase 2. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Gun to low ready. Prepare for phase 3. Officers, reload.
You load your Beretta.
Phase 3. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Gun to low ready. Prepare for phase 4. Phase 4. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Gun to low ready. Prepare for phase 5. Officers, reload.
Alright.
You load your Beretta.
I can't remember what the top score is. 400 or something?
Phase 5. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Gun to low ready. Prepare for phase 6. Phase 6. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Holster all firearms.
Damn, $3.95.
You load your Beretta.
Could have done a lot better, huh?
Holster your weapon. Irresponsible behavior will not be tolerated. Never point a loaded firearm at yourself. Gun safety is no joke. Detective, you work too hard for your money to throw it away. No need to identify yourself. If you weren't a cop, you wouldn't be allowed to shoot on this range. Not everyone or everything appreciates the art of photography. Officer Fuller is preparing for an Ironman competition. No way would he eat a candy bar. Arrest a man for practicing his shooting? Come on, Carey, get a grip.
It's funny the stuff they say.
Officer Fuller does not need your ammo. He has his own. Spare change? Officer Fuller looks very busy. Better not disturb him. These are your keys. What do you think you're doing? What does Officer Fuller have to do with your investigation? Officer Fuller doesn't look like he wants to be disturbed, Carey. Look, only you have to know and remember your qualifying date.
That's about it. Okay, so return these.
Detective, your shooting session is over for today. You have no reason to re-enter the field at this time. Detective, it's not necessary to wear your headgear at this time.
I'm kind of curious, like, $3.95.
Hey there.
Alright. I think I can do better.
Filled out and ready.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you, partner.
You pick up the head.
Alright, let's do this.
Officers, take your field positions, please. Officers, headgear on.
Let's save it.
Officers, headgear on. All firearms to low ready.
Alright, so we can do a little bit better.
Phase 1. Ready on the right, ready on the left. Attention. Gun to low.
I'm just skipping through the speech.
Phase 2. Ready on. Gun to low. Officers, reload.
You load.
Phase. Ready on. Gun to.
So far, we're good on the score.
Phase. Ready on. Gun to low ready. Prepare for phase 5.
You load.
Phase ready on the. Gun to low.
340. I don't know if that's the highest you can get on that or not. Let me try it again.
Gun to low ready.
I guess it is.
You load.
Phase ready on. Holster all
400.
firearms.
That's what I'm talking about.
You load your Beretta.
Cool. I knew we could do better. Alright, we'll take these back to Bert.
That there was some shooting, cowboy.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, partner.
This is a personal photograph. It does not belong here.
Alright, Bert. Definitely saving it now. That was good. I knew we could do it. Alright, so we went to the academy, morgue, South Central. We need to stop by the morgue.
It's your wheels. Yep, it's your car trunk. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's the front entrance to the L.A. County's coroner office. It's the front entrance to the L.A. County's coroner office. What'd you see? Entering the morgue always provides a sense of anticipation.
Hi, Detective Carey.
Music.
Hello, Sherry. I'd like to see Deputy Nobles. Is he available?
Show me your badge.
I'd like to...
The county gives us an ID too, but I don't like to wear it. Sometimes it clashes with my outfit.
It's Sherry Moore, the girl everyone adores.
You can go on in, Detective Carey. Detective Carey, you're a flirt. Detective Carey, you're getting fresh. Detective Carey, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were harassing me. Sexually, that is. Detective Carey, if you don't stop, I'm going to scream. Help! Detective Carey has roving hands. Help! I think of water as my friend because there's so much you can do with it. You can boil it and freeze it. You drink it and wash with it. Water's really wonderful. I just love your suit. Detective Carey, did you know that Russell Marks gets all his corny jokes from Cynthia Joseph? It's really hilarious. Did you know that I can gargle and sing at the same time? Did you know that when people say it's raining cats and dogs, that it's not really raining cats and dogs? It's just a phrase. You know, Detective Carey, I have a hangnail. It's really awful. Sometimes, Detective, I sing in the car. I can count backwards from 100. It's kind of hard, though. Someday, I'm going to visit a foreign country. I hear Hawaii is really nice. Did you know that once I sang the Star-Spangled Banner in a talent contest? Well, I did. Sometimes I like to sleep standing up and pretend I'm a horse. You know, sometimes I wish I was an astronaut. Someday I'd like to be a movie star. Wouldn't that be fun? I always get confused if there's 48 or 50 states in America, and then there's Guam. I don't get Guam. Did you know that I can gargle and sing? Sometimes, Detective, I sing in the car. Someday I'd like to be a movie star. You know, sometimes I wish I was an astronaut. Did you know that when people say it's raining, someday I'm going to visit a foreign country? I just love your suit. Did you know that once I sang the Star... I can count backwards from 100. Detective Carey, did you know that Russell Mark... I think of water as...
Let's try the candy bar.
Detective Carey, a single girl like myself has to watch her figure.
The county spared no expense to furnish the coroner's office. Incoming and outgoing baskets.
Nice.
The county spared no the county's file cabinets full of death certificates. Incoming and outgoing. The county spared no grabby, aren't you, Detective? Those belong to the county, not you. You could never reach those from here. The county's...
Hello, Detective Carey. Why did the idiot tiptoe past the medicine cabinet?
Russell Marks, assistant to Deputy Coroner Sam Nobles.
I don't know.
Because he didn't want to wake the sleeping pills. Go right in, Detective. I like you too, Detective. Morgue employees aren't issued badges. You're lucky. Do you know why Sam hates playing cards with dead bodies?
I don't know.
Because they have perfect poker faces. Do you know why the mechanic didn't buy the battery?
I don't know.
Because he got sticker shock. Did I ever tell you what happened to Sam's girlfriend?
I don't know.
She left him after he tried to put a tag on her toe. How do you stop a lawyer from drowning?
I don't know.
Take your foot off his head. Did you know Sam's a sailor? If he could, do you know where he'd go sailing?
I don't know.
The Dead Sea. Why did the pessimist start wearing sunglasses?
I don't know.
He got tired of looking on the bright side of life.
That's good.
What do you call two guys with no arms and no legs hanging in a window?
I don't know.
Curtain rod. Why did the mechanic drive off the cliff?
I don't know.
Because he wanted to test his air brakes.
Nice.
Why did the psychiatrist's mechanic have a bad day?
I don't know.
Because he had a screw loose. Why did the musician hit the road?
I don't know.
Because he tripped coming out of the strip joint. What do tow trucks eat?
I don't know.
Tofu. Do you like my jokes?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that's okay, because I got a million of them. Why did the idiot think he was a king?
I don't know.
Because he went to the dentist and got a crown. Okay, so a funeral director has 2 funerals in one day, and somehow the wrong clothes got on the wrong bodies. funeral director was in a panic. Know how he solved the problem?
I don't know.
He just switched the heads. Do you know what you get when you cross a peach and an avocado?
I don't know.
A Rudy Tooty Fruity Guacamole!
Interesting.
How can you tell when someone's been choked to death instead of by accidental ligature strangulation?
I don't know.
By the occluded blood vessels and thyroid fracture.
I don't know how that's a joke. It's like something they would get.
How do you tell if Sam's had garlic for lunch?
I don't know.
The corpses get up and run. Why did the mechanic drive off the cliff?
Yeah, we've heard that one.
I don't.
Because... Okay, so a funeral director...
We've heard that one too.
I don't.
He just... Do you know why Sam hates playing cards with...
Yeah, I heard that one too.
I don't.
I know there are a couple other ones.
What do tow trucks...
I don't.
Alright.
This is the way station for the morgue. This door leads to the lobby.
No eating, no drinking.
County garbage can.
Probably a good idea to not eat or drink around here.
This is the way... This door leads to the lobby. This, the ultimate cold storage. This is... You don't work here and these aren't your things. Do not remove. This is an official sign.
Hey, detective, leave that there. I throw things away all day long. Hey, that's not your refrigerator. Don't open it.
This is... This. It's Hickman's personal belongings envelope. It's Bobby Washington's personal belongings envelope. You pick up Hickman's personal belongings envelope. You pick up Bobby Washington's personal belongings envelope. You don't work here. You don't work. You don't...
Why did the psychiatrist's mechanic...
Yeah, heard that one too.
What do you...
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Bob Hickman's personal belongings envelope from the coroner's office. Bobby Washington's personal belongings envelope released from the county coroner's office.
Hickman looked like a nice guy. Deputy Sam has released Hickman's personal belongings envelope. I can't accept it. That personal belongings envelope has been released. Kinda sad. The kid only had a couple of baseball cards on him.
The weight of the envelope indicates there are many items within. The envelope feels as though there is not much in it.
Candy's dandy, but none for this buckaroo. Thanks anyway.
Good music. Eerie.
Hello, John.
Sam Nobles, Deputy Coroner, Los Angeles County. Sam doesn't require you to show him your badge upon each visit like some people around here.
Hello, Sam.
I have released that to the family, John. It is good of you to take it to them. Mrs. Washington would be most grateful if you took that to her, John. She's much too upset to make the trip down here. John, you're playing upon my weakness. However, I must abide by my own rules. No eating in the examining areas. Just the same, it looks delicious.
Pride in your work is important, Detective, but no need to show off your ID. This is County Coroner Examining Room 275A. This doorway leads to other examining rooms. Sam, this is Gray's Anatomy Maps. Each vein, skeletal structure, and organ is charted and coded for your convenience. This window allows sunlight to filter into the room. This is County Coroner Examining Room 275A. The sink is large and stained a most particular shade of brown. This is This scale weighs the various organs from an autopsy. A lot can be learned from the weight of an internal organ. Room 275A, light switch. The morgue is filled with all sorts of equipment. This intercom allows communication between examining rooms. The morgue is filled with all sorts of equipment. 6-inch utility knife, limb saw, fillet knife, the zipper, and various forceps and scissors cover the tray. Leave the lights on, Detective. Nobles is working. Detective, this intercom system is not a toy. Keep your hands to yourself, Carey. You're not a morgue employee. Detective, your expertise is investigative work of a different kind. Leave the tools. Detective... The sink is large and stained a most particular shade of brown. This is County Coroner Exam... Rather grabby, aren't you? Rather... You can't reach this window, Detective. Besides, no telling what's on it. Leave this up. The other investigators and detectives use it all the time. Since when do you know anything about plumbing? Leave the chemicals to the pros. Since when do you... Rather...
John, please don't touch the body. John, I feel close to you, too. I imagine the difficult times we have shared have brought us closer together, have they not? John, I have that scale precisely tuned. Please don't fiddle with it.
There's not much left to say. The body of your best friend now has an incision from the groin to the larynx. Stay out of the sink, Carey. It's unsanitary. Rather grabby. Rather.
Okay, so...
I'd like to ask you a few questions, Sam. You got a minute?
You bet, John. Fire away.
Sam, what can you tell me about Bob?
Why don't you begin at the beginning and begin by asking me the specifics? That way I won't miss any topic you might want to explore.
Sam, have you completed Hickman's autopsy? What are your preliminary findings?
The autopsy is complete. Beyond the surface evidence, I found a ruptured gastrointestinal tract. Fluids were sampled, and I'm having toxicology tests run, including all known poisons.
Have you made a determination on the cause of death? Sam, what killed Bob?
There are no gunshot wounds on the body. There are, however, 2 injection marks on the upper left arm. The eyes have been glued shut with some form of epoxy, and there are burn marks to the face which look consistent with a cigarette burn. Then, of course, there's the missing index finger on the right hand. Torture, poison, maybe. Definitely not natural causes.
Sam, will you go over the physical marks found on the body?
Yes. There are 2 injection marks on the upper left arm, the burn marks to the face and upper torso, the epoxied eyes, the missing index finger, and then there are restraint marks. The restraint marks appear where you would most expect to find them, on the ankles and the wrists. At these points I found fibrous material, all very consistent with what you would expect to find at a torture scene.
Sam, what can you tell me about the body lividity?
Lividity appears 2 places on the body, first and most notably on the buttocks. This would indicate to me that Hickman died while sitting and then was left in that position for a period of time. Or, once killed, he was moved to a sitting position and then left for a time. The second area of lividity appears on the upper back and shoulder area, and I believe resulted from the time the body spent in the alley.
Sam, do you have a preliminary back on the toxicology tests?
Not yet, John, but I believe we'll find that Hickman died of poison as opposed to, say, a heart attack. If Hickman was killed by poison, it could have been a slow and painful and quite obviously torturous death. There are signs of stress around Hickman's eyes which would indicate that he was alive when his eyes were glued shut and he attempted to open them. Also, the burn marks on the face are a bit irregular, not perfectly round. This could be attributed to Hickman jerking or pulling away as his face and body were burned. All in all, a gruesome end.
What about fibers or hairs, Sam? Were you able to find anything substantive?
Actually, John, I was able to lift fibers from the areas of restraint. I imagine these will turn out to be rope of some kind. Of course, the body was covered in alley debris, so it is difficult to determine what extraneous materials will actually pertain to the killer or killers.
Sam, what?
What?
What is...
Okay.
Sam, what can you tell me about the youth?
Exactly what would you like to know, John?
What is it?
The boy's identification? Confirmed, and if so, by whom?
The Lucky Mini Mart owner confirmed the body as Bobby Washington, a local neighborhood boy.
Has the boy's family been notified?
Yes, and as I am sure you can imagine, the mother is near hysterics. Her name is Bernadette Washington, and she lives around the corner from the alley. The poor woman is so upset she can't yet bring herself to come down and claim the body, or the few small trinkets we found on the boy.
Sam, do you have a preliminary on the boy's cause of death?
I counted 17 points of entry, John. The boy was mowed down, execution style. Cause of death? Gang violence, if you want a personal opinion. Professional opinion? The youth was killed by gunshot wounds to the head and body.
Has the boy's autopsy been performed yet?
Yes, it was, John. I was able to pull 3 slugs out of the body. They look like 9mm. I've sent them over to SID for a ballistics check. The body is in cold storage, waiting for the family.
That's it.
I say, John, Hickman is a picture of health in this photograph. What has happened is just a shame.
So what we'll do is we'll run down to South Central.
The body of your best friend. The body of your best friend now has an incision from the groin to the larynx. This counter contains a very large sink. Rather grabby, rather.
Yes.
You like my jokes? See ya, Detective.
Detective Carey, you're a flirt. Goodbye, and have a nice day, Detective Carey. That poor little boy, being shot like that? You're gonna find out who did that, aren't you?
We will see.
Is that your friend's personal belongings envelope? Geez, just awful about your friend, Detective Carey.
Actually, yes, we will find out.
Incoming and out.
Please see coroner's section for all coroner business. Something. Hard to tell what it says right there.
To protect the innocent, your trunk is locked. It feels cold. The air is thick with smog today. It feels cold. It feels. Your key unlocks the trunk. You better keep your key.
Alright, so we'll save it here.
Leaving?
Yes.
Leaving? Leaving?
Yes. Yes.
Where are you going? Your car is parked right in front of you. Once again, you've forgotten to lock it. It's open. Once again. Once again. Leaving? Leaving?
I thought you could use the key on it, but I guess not. Alright, we're going to South Central.
The remnants of a man's life lie outlined in the dirt. Alleys can be great sources of hidden treasure, Detective. It's police banner guard tape, torn and useless. Leave the tape, Carey. The 77th Division will want to clear it. Nothing but dust to dust and ashes to ashes. The paint is dry, though it appears fresh. The dumpster now sports a lock. It can't be opened.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yep, they feel like buildings. Graffiti mars the neighborhood. Graffiti... It's the lucky Mini-Mart dumpster. Many businesses back up to this alley, Detective. It's a DARE billboard. Trees provide oxygen and shade, both very much needed in the City of Angels. Another smoggy day in Los Angeles. The air is thick with remorse, but you can't touch it. Not much chance of reaching that billboard from here. Detective, to whom? Detective.
We'll run down here. RBGB again.
The surface looks like cinder block, exactly what it is. It's amazing this wall withstood the fire that burned this building down. This must be a replacement door for the one lost when this place burned. The window glass is gone. Possibly it exploded out during the fire. The window glass... What you see? Empty freight containers. This field must be used to unpack stolen goods.
No kidding.
Post-fire plant life attempts to emerge. The ground is dusty and dry. The surface feels like cinder block, exactly what it is. As you suspected, all that's left is packing material. It's charred, Carey. Careful, there could be bits of broken glass left in the frame. The graffiti looks familiar. Maybe you ought to take a closer look, Detective. These same graffiti call letters appear elsewhere in the neighborhood. It appears that slugs from a firearm are lodged in the wall. Recognizing the graffiti, you make a notation. Detective, notating the bullet's presence could be important. The velocity with which this projectile hit the wall makes it impossible to remove it by merely pulling. Your action is your... You're being overcautious, Carey. You're being...
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
You loosen the slug from the wall. You loosen the slug from the wall. You loosen the slug from the wall.
3,
You loosen...
5,
You...
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Be more specific, Carey. This slug is already loose. Be careful, you could lose it in the grass below.
Can we use gloves yet?
You're...
Okay.
The jar is not big enough to hold all the slugs.
Yeah, so we'll use the baggie.
Save your bat. Detective, be more specific.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
The evidence has been removed. Deformed 9mm slugs taken from the cinder block wall in South Central. The slugs can be felt through the plastic container. The shine... The ground is...
What you looking at?
This looks like one tough kid. DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education, founded in 1983. This field has been burned to the ground. A beautiful day in Los Angeles. This sidewalk has seen days of wear and tear. The colorful building adds a bit of charm to this older neighborhood. This property is the victim of arson. The building is gutted, but it still has a door. Well-lit streets are crucial to citizen safety. It's the doorway to Enchilada Heaven. The colorful building adds a bit... Your action is... Carey, keep your hands to yourself. This sidewalk is full of spit and chewing gum. The stone is rough, the concrete hot. The stone is rough. The stone... No climbing. Detective, what are you reaching for? Carey, you have better things to do than go on a scavenger hunt. Climbing the billboard is rather juvenile, and besides, you don't have the time.
I'm Detective Carey, LAPD, homicide. I'm Detective Carey, LAPD.
Detective, don't wander off. You have an investigation to complete.
Can you tell me if you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yo, baby, is this some kind of trick? That's you with your arm around some homo.
I was wondering if the man in the photograph looks familiar to you.
Gee, all you white folks look the same.
No.
Shit, Emo, he be liking me.
What's your name, young man?
Emo Jones.
Do you live in the neighborhood, Emo? You have an address, maybe a phone number?
Yeah, I live here. 162 South Florence. No phone.
Recording information twice is unnecessary.
I'd like to ask you fellas a couple of questions.
You be the man. Ask away.
Last night there was a double murder, a police officer and a neighborhood boy, Bobby Washington. Do you know anything that might help us solve what happened to them?
I be knowing nothing. That couple? What do you be doing down here anyway?
Did you know Bobby Washington?
Gee, yeah, that little man was okay. He always be saying he gonna grow up and be the next Dave Stewart.
You a big baseball fan? I see you've got a baseball.
Yeah, baby, I like all them sports. This here ball, I find it. Find it in the field. What's lost is now mine.
If you can think of anything that might help us, why don't you give me a call down at Parker Center? Just ask for robbery homicide Detective Carey. You never know when I might be able to repay the favor.
I be hearing you, baby. Yo, I be fly today. Never know when I'm gonna know something that can help.
If you can think of, you never know.
I be...
Do you live around here, son?
Shit, I live with my grandma down on Hoover.
Recording information.
Son, what is your name?
Herbie Lewis.
Herbie, do you know anything that might help us solve last night's double murder?
Shit, no, man. I was with my granny. You ask her.
Can't think of anyone who might have wanted to see Bobby or the police officer hurt?
Shit, I just live around here, man. I don't know nothing. Yeah? I seen that stuff all the time. So what?
So, what's the big deal?
Yeah, because they're so used to seeing it.
No need to pay for information. There is no need to pay for information. Your behavior is not in keeping with the LAPD Code of Ethics, Detective. Your behavior... Remember your oath to protect and to serve. Act accordingly. Remember your...
Okay, that's about it. That's all the info you can get from them.
Talk is, you're a cop. And cops are bad for my business. My advice to you, keep moving.
Customer entrance to the Rainbow Cafe. Looks like the service door, deliveries only. The Rainbow Cafe, a rather inviting little place. City sidewalks are incredibly durable if you think about it. It appears to be a victim of arson. It appears it's a clear day in the City of Angels. A concrete pole is effective cover during an armed confrontation. It's the fenced driveway belonging to the Rainbow Cafe. The Rainbow Cafe, the Rainbow feels like a building should. In LA, you really can feel the air. Feels rough, as it should. Find a coin, detective? Feels like steel. The fence is locked. Your act in L.A. Your act in L.A. You really can. The fence feels like... The fence is locked. It's the fenced driveway belonging to the Rainbow Cafe. What'd you see? The door is locked up tight. Feels like a... Detective, to whom do you wish to speak? Detective...
You got earwax or something? You ain't listening? I don't want your business. You're making my customers jumpy. Like I told you, you're not welcome here. You know, small business people like me are important to this city. I'm gonna call City Hall or somebody if you don't back off. You're starting to piss me off, pal. I got a business to run, and you ain't good for it. You know, small business people... You got earwax or...
Alright, so we can't talk to them.
Awnings. A must for protection from the Southern California sun. Chain link fences dominate the city. The Lucky Mini Mart. With a name like that, they must sell lottery tickets. The Lucky... A perfectly beautiful California day. A perfectly... The Lucky Mini Mart. This man was at the crime scene last night. Ah, cigarettes. A most worthwhile expenditure of one's finances. Like many streets in L.A., this sidewalk is old and cracked. If the advertising is any indication, this store sells a lot of beer. If the a door is a door is a door, detective. Everywhere you look, beer ads. The Lucky Mini. This young man doesn't appear to have a day job.
He was in the alley last night, too. Or the night before. For the game. Time, anyway.
The telephone is currently in use, detective.
Wow, they have a phone book?
The telephone...
That's crazy. LAPD officer and unidentified youth found slain in alley.
Carey, the box is jammed. You've just lost your money. The box is jammed. Carey, the... Cleaning the window is pointless. Grit from the city covers this building. It looks as precarious as it is. Leave it be. Reaching for the stars? Well, the stars aren't out right now. Spit and chewing gum. Keep your hands to yourself. Cleaning it wouldn't help. Cleaning it... You don't work at the Lucky Mini Mart. Leave the sign.
Yo, 5-0, you got some notion of taking me down? Hey, what's up with that? You popping me?
Spare change? Spare change?
Excuse me, I'd like to talk to you.
Chill, 5-0. I'm conducting business.
Excuse me, I'd like...
Shit!
And not everybody or everything has a sweet tooth. Not everyone or every... Not...
Sir, do you recognize the man in this photograph?
The picture's all fuzzy. I don't see any guy.
Oh, he's drunk.
I'm Detective Carey, LAPD. I saw you last night in the alley.
Got some spare change a fella can have? Got some spare change a fella can have? He's stinky and he needs a bath. Rethink your actions, Carey. God bless you.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, okay, sure.
You were in the alley last night. I thought you might be able to tell me what you know about the murders.
Yeah, it's just popping sound. You know, I don't know. You're very kind. You know, that kid, he was gonna be a ball player, man. The big leagues he was.
Can you recall any unusual activity in the neighborhood last night? Any arguments or unfamiliar people?
The cop was... he was dead.
Could you be more explicit, sir?
I didn't, You've offered enough assistance. Any more change and he'd have enough for a cheap bottle of wine. The man asked for change, not paper. This person is not authorized to handle evidence. Mishandling evidence can taint future prosecution, Carey. This young man has not offered any new information regarding the case. Even the smallest detail can have meaning.
Sir?
Yeah? Yeah, what?
He may not be wanting to talk in front of this guy, because I think that's Ragtopp.
Got some spare change a fella can have?
I think that's Ragtopp Spiff. He's one of the lead gang guys.
Got some spare... You've offered...
No, I've already given you enough.
I'm Detective Carey with the LAPD.
Everybody know who you are. You big cop. Bring big trouble.
Detective Carey, would you care to make a comment on Officer Hickman's murder?
No comment.
What are you doing? Hey!
Not too smart, big policeman. You push go on TV.
Oh, it wasn't like that. You see, she...
Yeah, you say for others. I see TV. I see you in neighborhood last night. You not come but for a dead cop.
She doesn't look very friendly.
I know you a cop.
Do you recognize the man in this picture?
He shop here sometimes.
This is the murdered policeman who was found in the alley. Do you remember when you last saw him?
He police? Nah, he work at Rainbow. Cook.
No, ma'am. He was a police officer. Do you remember when you last saw him?
No, maybe couple of days.
What you see is what you see. The door leads out into the mean streets of the neighborhood. A neon beer sign fills the window. A neon... Everywhere you go nowadays, there's a TV. What you see... These small stores often exploit the poor by selling cheap liquor. Unfortunately, it's not illegal. The register looks as old as the store. Fresh fruit is a rarity in these small convenience stores. The counter has a plethora of merchandise. Amico glue, industrial strength. What you see? Amico. High fat, low nutritional value, often what one The counter is grimy. It could use a good cleaning.
Keep hands off money machine.
You can't reach it, Carey. Besides, it's on a remote. Detective, a stiff drink is not what you need. That's better left alone. You're here to investigate, not search, Detective. Eat those and your cholesterol count would go through the roof, Detective.
You wash window? I don't pay. You do for free. You drug addict? I monitor group. I want no more police trouble. You troubled policeman? No more group.
Carey, you have no time to read the paper. Carey, you...
LAPD officer and unidentified youth found slain in alley. All the same.
Can you tell me your name and what your position is here?
I owner of Lucky Mini Mart. I work hard for my store. My name is Kimchi.
Amico Industrial Strength Glue.
You sweet on me? I have husband.
Fresh fruit is a rarity in these small convenience stores. Apples are nutritious and a good source of vitamin C. The apple is smooth to the touch. The canister is metal.
What you want me to do? You want? You pay. You want? You pay. You smart. You know a good buy when you see it. You shop here again. No exchange.
There's no time for a snack here, Detective. You have a case to solve.
No return, no cash back.
Look, you're not broken. Maybe a little tired, but not broken.
Looks like Doritos, Cool Ranch, the blue ones, the old school 90s Cheetos, I think. It's hard to tell. That's an old school bag too. Fritos, I can tell. Man, that's crazy. I recognize it. I don't think you can go anywhere else.
You've already recorded the information.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay, you ask.
You said you saw me last night. Did you happen to see anything else? Anything out of the ordinary, such as different people or cars in the neighborhood?
I already told police all I know.
Well, if you think of anything, I'd appreciate hearing from you. Just call me at Parker Center. Ask for robbery homicide, Detective Carey. By the way, Miss Chi, did you know Bobby Washington?
He was good boy. Always helped me for free. He good boy. He try and stay away from gangs. No trouble. Bobby, good boy.
Is there anything else you could tell me about Bobby, Miss Chi?
What to tell? Boy's either good or bad. Good boy.
I was wondering if you'd remembered anything more about last night's events?
I run business. No time to run around and do your job too. You want to buy something?
I was wondering if you'd remember...
I think that's about it.
Telecommunications, a modern convenience. There's no dial tone and no change in the coin return. Useless. There's no dial tone and no change in the coin return. Useless.
So that either means it just went out, or that guy was hanging around on the phone acting like he was on it, but he wasn't talking to anybody. He was just listening. And this guy didn't want to talk to Carey in front of him.
You've offered a...
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
You were in...
Got some...
Can you recall... Could you be... Sir?
Yeah. Got some...
You've...
Sir?
Yeah. Got...
This is a broken man. However, he needs alcohol counseling, not a canister of glue.
Sir? Sir, would you care for an apple? Apples are very nutritious.
I don't think so. Unless I could drink it. Got some spare change?
No. I'll give you enough. Ragtopp. These guys are gone.
Detective, don't wander off. You have an investigation to complete. Cracked and broken, this sidewalk is old and in need of repair. The fence is marred with graffiti, an urban blight. The trees are abloom with the promise of new life. A beautiful Southern California day. It's the Lucky Mini Mart. Normandy Street.
Normandy Street, huh?
The pavement is hot. There's nothing like the feel of grass underneath one's feet. Watch out, Detective. You could get hit by a car. You're a bit far to tell what it feels like. Your action is unwarranted. The wind rustles the leaves. All
right.
Bermuda grass.
Better save it. We've done a lot.
This child has not offered any important information regarding your investigation. The child looks to be about 5 years old.
Hello.
Children are often frightened by aggressive behavior, Carey. The child...
Alright, so let's identify ourselves so we don't scare her.
I'm a police officer. My name is Detective Carey.
Detective, this photograph means nothing to this child. Forget it.
Can you tell me your name?
My name is Lysandra.
Do you know your last name?
Uh-huh. Washington.
This child is not...
Can you tell me where you live?
I don't know. I live down the street.
How are you today? Taking your doll out for a walk?
Me and my dolly are having a tea party.
So it's tea time.
We don't have real tea and cookies. We're pretending.
Hello, Lysandra.
Hi. I'm pretending I'm a mommy.
Have fun. See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Hi, Lysandra.
Hi, policeman.
Hi, Lysandra.
Hi.
Hi, Lys...
Hi.
Let's see.
Would you like a candy bar?
My mommy lets me take candy at Halloween. Is it Halloween time?
Detective, this photo... This child... Carey, what kind of gesture is that towards a small child?
You're an apple.
Would you and your doll like an apple?
Thank you.
Hi, listen.
Okay, so that's about it there.
The fence feels like wood, as it should.
Down the street.
The Washington home, a modest house in an older neighborhood. The fence is painted red, a known gang color. It's the Washington family car. What you see? Yep, it's a utility pole. The trees in this neighborhood are large. It's the front door to the Washington residence. The Washington home, a modest house. The Washington, Mrs. Bernadette Washington, mother of Bobby and Lysandra. It looks as though last year's drought affected this yard. It could use a little yard work, but right now you have a case to solve. You're too far away to get a splinter. You're too far away from the trees to touch them. No pole climbing today, Detective. You have a case to solve. You have a department-issued vehicle. No reason to take this car, Detective. The house seems to be of solid construction. Why knock on the door when the resident is right in front of you? Don't wander off. You're on assignment, you know.
I'm Detective Carey, LAPD, homicide. May I have a moment of your time?
Yes, Detective, what is it? I don't need your comfort, sir. I've seen enough violence. I don't need to see any more bullets.
Refrain from taking notes at this time. The situation is sensitive, and you wouldn't want to alienate Mrs. Washington.
I don't need your special treatment. My child and I are doing just fine without charity.
Mrs. Washington, I have reason to believe that a young man by the name of Ragtopp Spiff might be involved with your son's murder. Does his name sound familiar?
That would be Ramon Jones. Anyone would hurt my child, it would be him. He's always showing off some gun and bragging about big money.
Mrs. Washington, if there's anything the department or I can do, please call.
There's nothing anybody can do. Nobody can bring my son home.
Mrs. Washington, can you tell me when you last saw Bobby? Was he with friends? Did he tell you where he was going?
He was heading out to play ball. He loved baseball. He always told me he was going to make me proud. He was going to be in the major leagues. He was a good boy, Detective. Never caused me any trouble. He was the man around this house. He was my little man.
Go ahead and give the belongings to her.
Mrs. Washington, these are the items found on Bobby's person the night he was killed. I'm so sorry, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mrs. Washington, What time of day did you last see Bobby?
He left the house after dinner, maybe around 6:30. Headed over to the field to play ball. He was always over there practicing his pitching.
Mrs. Washington, what can you tell me about gang activity in your neighborhood?
I don't want to end up dead like my son, Detective. I've got a little girl who needs me. If you want to find out about the gangs around here, why don't you ask around to some of the young men? Not all our boys want to be part of a gang. Maybe one of them will talk to you.
Mrs. Washington, is there anything the department can do for you?
You can find who killed my son. You can make these streets safe for the children.
She has her own grieving to do. She doesn't need to share your loss. Why not? Refrain from... There is no reason for you to touch this child, Detective.
Unless she didn't run away. I was curious if she would.
Leave the paint.
Oh, okay.
The paint.
Alright, time to go. Now we're gonna head up to Hickman's house.
The Hickman residence. A beautiful LA sky. The yard reflects Catherine's love of gardening. Catherine loves gardening, and it shows, Detective. The Hickman residence. Double-paned windows are good insulation for both heat and cold. The Hickman residence. It's the front door to the Hickman family's residence. The yard reflects the yard reflects neighbors. What you see? It's your trusty transportation. It's your car trunk. Elm Street. The yard reflects the feel of the grass is reminiscent of summer days. Your action is reaching for the sky is an admirable goal. The windows are clean. No need for you to wash them. Watch out for splinters. Watch out for splinters. Detective, don't disturb the neighbors. Don't bother the neighbors. Carey, did you find a penny? What'd you see? Hickman's neighbors. The Hickman residence. Double-paned windows are good insulation for both heat and cold. Catherine's green thumb shows the flowers are beautiful. It's the front door to the Hickman family's residence. Double-paned windows. The Hickman residence. Catherine's green thumb. Catherine would not appreciate you picking her flowers. It feels like aluminum siding. The windows are clean. No need for you to wash them, Detective. It feels like aluminum siding. Hollering at a person's house to see if their home is rather low class. Try knocking, Carey. Knocking seems less intrusive than ringing the doorbell. What a cute kid Valerie is. It's Valerie Hickman, Bob and Catherine's daughter.
Quit tickling me, Uncle John.
Carey, there's no need to identify yourself as a cop. You're here as a family friend. Knocking scene. What a cute kid.
Candy bar?
Valerie, I brought you a candy bar.
No thanks, Uncle John. We're gonna eat lunch soon and Mom would get mad.
It's the knock. What a...
Hi, Valerie. How you doing?
Hi, Uncle John. You want to come in? Mom, Uncle John's here.
The hall closet. To the left, the hall leads to the private areas of the house. Catherine has wonderful taste in decorating. This table was built by Bob 4 years ago. It appears to be Bob's personal items from work. The living room decor is friendly and homey. Powder blue, crushed velour. Bob's talent in woodcraft is evident with this table. Fresh flowers in the house, so very Catherine. An original oil, perhaps? Lovely wall art. Decorator lamp. The shelves contain mementos of Catherine and Bob's life together. Flowers from Catherine's garden. Bob crafted this table to match the coffee table. The living room decor.
Hi, John. Thanks for coming over.
How are you, Catherine?
I don't know. I can't believe this has happened. It's like a nightmare. I keep hoping I'll wake up and Bob will be alive.
The living room decor. Lovely wall art. The picture is hanging straight. No need to adjust it, Detective. Yipes, that's hot! Rearranging Catherine's knickknacks is not something she asked you to do. Show a little respect, Detective. Keep your hands to yourself. The cushions are soft. The arrangement is just as Catherine likes it. Best to leave it as is. The same fine hardwood as the coffee table. The wood grain is smooth. Best not try and rearrange the flowers. They're just how Catherine likes them, Carey. Catherine doesn't need an interior decorator, Detective. Yow, that lamp is hot. Yow, you could leave handprints on the wall. Watch out. Catherine appears to need emotional support, not physical contact, Carey. Carey, that box does not belong to you. Leave it alone. The wood grain is smooth. You remember when Bob made this table and how proud he was of it. Catherine Hickman, widow.
No, thank you, John. I don't feel much like eating.
The cushions are soft. No need for that. Catherine is well aware of the fact you're a cop.
Yep. Alright, so...
I remember that summer well, John. We had a lot of fun. Val learned to fish and I learned to water ski.
Catherine, I've been assigned lead investigator on this case. I need to ask you some questions. Are you feeling up to it?
I suppose so, John. I just can't believe this is happening. I don't know what to do.
Catherine, I can't go into the details of Bob's death due to the investigation, but if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them.
That's all right, John. I spoke with that lovely Miss Moore and Mr. Nobles at the coroner's office. I know all I need to.
Catherine, Bob's gun was not found at the scene. Is it here? Do you know if he had it with him the night he went out?
His gun isn't here. I already looked. Bob's captain already asked about it.
Catherine, can you tell me what was going on with Bob? What stress was he feeling? Was it strictly work-related?
He would tell me that he couldn't stand to see the little children and the innocent families hurt by all the street violence. He was beginning to hate the gangs. He was having a hard time staying impartial.
Okay, always ask this one last when you talk to Catherine. Should have said that earlier. Ask these three first, and then ask that one last. Make sure you give the belongings envelope to her.
Catherine, these are Bob's personal effects. They were released by the Deputy Coroner.
Thank you, John. Is his wedding band included?
I didn't open it, Catherine. I don't know.
John, this was Bob's Kevlar vest. I'd like you to have it. Maybe it will keep you safe.
Thank you, Catherine.
It's real small.
Valerie looks very sad. Valerie doesn't like to be tickled. Leave that be, Detective. The envelope now belongs to Catherine. Bob's personal belongings envelope from the coroner's office. Kevlar bulletproof vest. There is nothing like the feel of Kevlar when it comes to safety. Don't take any notes, Detective. Catherine might feel you're not here for her as a friend. Detective, Valerie is cute, but that doesn't belong in your case notes.
That's a nice dress you're wearing, Valerie.
Thanks, Uncle John. It's okay.
This is evidence, Detective. It is unsuitable for a small child to handle. Catherine's just lost her husband. She isn't interested in spent ammo, Detective.
Catherine, the department is aware of the fact that Bob was
John, how could you say that about Bob? I'm sorry, I can't talk about this right now.
Valerie, do you understand what's happened?
I think so. Mommy says Daddy's in heaven and he's not coming home anymore.
You know, Val, that you always have your Uncle John if you need anything, right? Valerie, can you remember anything that happened the night your dad went out and didn't come home?
Well, my mommy and Daddy were fighting about his work coming home.
So they kind of cut him off, but he was asking Catherine, he was saying that Bob was taking sedatives, and as soon as he mentioned sedatives, then she cuts him off and runs out. So I guess because it's an older game, you know, newer computers are going to run a little faster.
Valerie already knows you're a police officer.
Was your dad bringing a lot of work home, Val?
I don't know. He always kept it in the closet.
That's a nice dress you're wearing, Valerie.
Thanks, Uncle John. It's okay.
That's a nice
Thanks.
Okay.
My mom says I have to eat some real food first before I can have a treat.
The hall closet.
There's the closet. Check that.
This shelf is cleaner than most. This shelf, what'd you say? Lightweight jacket, Mrs. size 8. Denim jacket. Valerie's winter coat. Raincoat. Menswear. Weekend wear. What you... Winter sweater. What you... Reaching into the pocket, you discover pocket lint. 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 Show a little respect, detective. Keep your hands to yourself. Reaching into the pocket, you discover a prescription bottle. Reaching into the pocket, you discover pocket lint. Bob Hickman's prescribed sedatives. Careful, the cap is already loose on this bottle.
Valerie, are these your dad's?
Uh-huh. My daddy said he got them for work. They made him sleepy sometimes.
Do you know anything else about them?
Just that sometimes they made my daddy yell at me and Mommy. And then my Mommy would yell back, and sometimes she'd cry.
That's a nice...
I don't think there's anything else we can do.
Bye, Uncle John.
So we'll save it here. And at this point, I don't think they're open. Yeah.
Don't mess with the sign, Carey. It ain't your job. You're out of luck, detective. The range is closed. The door is locked. The range is closed.
Alright, so we're gonna go back to Parker Center.
Parker Center, built 1955, also known as the Glass House. It's National Police Week. Take pride in your profession.
That's like mid-May, so that's kind of gives you an idea of when this was.
The entranceway to Parker Center. Bermuda grass, a trailing southern European grass. Seasonal flowers brighten the front of Parker Center. Parker Center, built 19... Parker... What'd you... Another beautiful day in sunny Southern California. What'd you... Parker Center. Parker Center. The Los Angeles skyline is filled with various styles of architecture. Many people have the goal, reach for the sky. Who do you think you are, Spider-Man? You can't reach that from here. You can't reach that from here. Don't pick the daisies. Feels grassy. Why take it down? It only goes up 1 week a year. Concrete is one rough surface. The Los Angeles skyline is filled with... What'd you see?
So when I did walk up here, the street does run right here. And you just walk up, and the front doors are right here. It's kind of far away, but they're right there. All these glass doors.
Who do you think? Who do you?
And last time I went up here was 2017, July, I believe. And it's 151 Police Department, City of Los Angeles. But it's closed down now, so you can't go in. But I just remember I walked up and took a peek, and I could see it was just pretty empty in there. Kind of sad to see it go like that.
You attach your Parker Center ID to your suit.
Let's see it. And we can give this to him.
Well, thank you. I was just thinking how I could use a snack. Candy's kind of my downfall.
Detective, prescription medication should be distributed legally and with care. Detective, this is not your prescription.
Oh, it's good you've invested in a Kevlar, Detective. You never know when the situation will call for one.
The situation does not call for added protection. What are you doing? You're not the maintenance man. You're a cop.
Okay, so... Oh, you know what? I wonder if I could take these to the morgue.
That looks like it needs to be checked in or something, Detective.
Let's do that real quick. I don't know that we can, but we'll try. See if Noble says anything about it.
Entering the morgue always provides a sense of anticipation.
Hi, Detective Carey.
Hello, Sherry.
Deputy Nobles is up to his elbows in an autopsy. He can't be interrupted right now, really. Detective Carey, Deputy Nobles is really busy. Honest. Detective Carey, Deputy Nobles is real.
Alright.
Wow, those look scary. I just say no. You should too.
Alright, so we'll go back.
Detective, I'm wearing my ID. I serve as an example to all.
You attach your Parker Center ID to your suit.
I wonder if I can get another candy bar.
You drop 65 cents into the slot. Harry, you already deposited 65 cents. Getting candy out of a machine is a little like winning a prize.
Check this, you want to check this ashtray too, every so often. Okay, cool. So we got another candy bar. That's cool.
A disgusting mess today. Cigarette butts and candy wrappers.
So we're going to go upstairs.
You press the button to call the elevator.
And, First, let's go to SID.
You select the basement as your destination.
There she is.
Hello, Detective. How can I help you?
Julie Chester, SID Criminalist, LAPD. SID is a large department. This is merely one area. SID feels just like a wall, a Parker Center wall.
Detective Carey, I view your action as sexual harassment and find your behavior objectionable. Please stop touching me. Detective Carey, if you do not stop, I will be forced to report this incident to my supervisor. Please stop and end this here and now. Sexual harassment is a violation of federal and state law and city and department policy. If you do not stop, I will be forced to contact the sexual harassment counselor, women's coordinator, and file a formal complaint. Sexual harassment is... If you do not... Yes, I know you're a detective and I'm not.
Alright, so we'll try these. We're really supposed to turn these into property, but we're going to try these first. We'll save it.
Chester, I pulled these from a cinder block wall not far from the alley in the 77th Street area. I'd like ballistics run on them.
I'd like to comply, Detective. However, they need to be processed first. Take them to Teddy with the appropriate paperwork, and I'll get right on it.
Cool, so we got points out of that, though.
Chester, I'd like you to take a look at this and see if you can match it to the glue found in Hickman's eyes. I purchased it in the neighborhood where Hickman was found. I know it's a long shot.
Hold on, Detective. I only need a sample. I don't eat candy. It's bad for my teeth. Nice picture of you and Hickman. You know, I like to fish. Everybody has to qualify, Detective. What's the problem? Nervous? Don't be. Just aim and shoot. What do you want, a ballistics test? If not, then take these back. I have my own. Every cop on the street needs one of those nowadays. Detective, I have my own kit, which I might add is a lot larger than yours.
Funny.
Holster your weapon, Detective. No tactical rationale exists for this action.
The city pays me, Detective. Does this have something to do with your investigation, or are you just making a comment on my salary? I drive an SID van, Detective. Us criminalists don't require fancy cars like detectives do. Are you getting fresh with me?
Chester's information is valid and important, but when the case goes to trial, SID will provide the reports on tested evidence.
That's about it. And then we gotta give these to her.
Chester, I found these at Hickman's. Apparently he was taking them regularly. Could he have overdosed on these things?
Detective, these are Valium, 5 milligrams. Hickman weighed, what would you say, 170 pounds? Hickman would have to have taken what's left in this bottle and coupled it with something else to have killed himself. No, these didn't have anything to do with his death.
Alright. Oh, yeah.
Your bags are empty. What's the point?
Put it away, Carey. Put it away.
The jar is empty of samples. What do you want me to do with it?
I wonder what you're supposed to use this jar for, if at all.
Detective, SID has boxes and boxes of gloves. But thanks anyway. There's plenty of light in here, Detective. Or are you showing me your flashlight for a different reason?
No need for that. No.
Yes, Detective Carey? Are you making a joke?
Hello, Chester. What about fibers found on either of the bodies, Chester?
We're running the standard tests. Looks mostly like dirt from the alley. We'll know more a little later.
What have you been able to establish with the cigarette found in the alley, Chester?
We're in luck there, Detective. Upon testing the lipstick, we found traces of DNA. We're following through on that with additional testing. Find another cigarette with the same lipstick and maybe we'll have our killer.
Chester, have you processed Hickman's body fluids?
They're in the process, Detective. We don't have any results back yet.
Chester, have you begun ballistics testing on the slugs taken out of the Washington youth?
Yes, Detective. As a matter of fact, Hickman's service piece is on record. I'm running a match test.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else.
See you later, Detective Carey.
It's criminalist Julie Chester. If you want to get closer to Chester, then do so. Elevator call buttons. The elevator doors are closed. Last paint job, 19. Pulling those doors open requires more strength than you have. Pressing the button, you call the elevator.
Alright, so we'll run up the property. I don't know if he's going to be open, but we can try. I kind of want to run these bullets by Sam and see if I get points.
You select the 4th floor as your destination.
There he is.
Hello, sir, and how are you doing? How's the investigation going?
Hello, Teddy.
It's Officer Teddy Baker. You're at the property... A beautiful Los Angeles day. You're at the property counter in Parker Center. File cabinets full of booking information. You're at the property... A view of the Piper Tech building. A beautiful Los Angeles day. One of the many downtown office buildings gracing the LA skyline. Arley McRae, bomb expert, killed in the line of duty. You're at the property You're at the file cabinets full of booking information. Yep, feels no need to ring the bell. Teddy is standing right in front of you. Though the windows do open in Parker Center, they're currently closed. You can't reach those. You can't reach this from where you are.
Excuse me, Detective, but that is very annoying. Please don't ring the bell. Sir, are you all right? Do you feel faint? Would you like me to call the paramedics? Gee, sir, this is your badge. But you're not giving it to me, are you?
No, Teddy. I just thought you might like to see what a detective's badge looks like up close.
Detective, is this clip crime-related?
Magazine.
Well, no. Not unless you think it's criminal how we police have to arm ourselves just to protect ourselves.
Sir, you should keep this with you. You never know when the situation will arise that you need it. Sir, is this related to a crime or a criminal?
It's just a hunch on my part, Baker. I want a test run to see if it matches with the glue found on the victims in my investigation.
Well, sir, I can't book it into property. Why don't you run it by Chester? She can take a sample, run all the tests you want. Sir, my position is paid for by the city, just like yours. But thank you anyway.
You're right, Teddy. Sometimes I get uncontrollable urges to share.
Detective, was this gun used in the commission of a crime?
No, Baker, it's my handgun. Thought you might be interested in the Beretta. I heard you carried a 5906 Smith & Wesson.
Detective Carey, what's with these coins?
I thought maybe you'd like to see what a detective's salary is really like.
Detective, are these from a crime scene or used in the commission of a crime?
No, Baker, I found them at Hickman's house. I thought maybe they could be tested to see if they match in any way to Hickman's toxicology report.
If they're not crime-related, I can't help you. But what about Chester? She can process them. Sir, these look like keys to your car.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It's kind of cool they give you the option to do this.
Sir, these look standard issued. Do they require booking?
They're mine, Teddy. I don't know what I was thinking.
Sir, this is your memorandum book. This doesn't require booking.
Actually, I thought you might like to see the amount of legwork and attention to detail it takes to be in homicide major crimes.
Detective, this looks like a picture of you and Hickman. I don't think it belongs in property, but it is a nice picture of you both.
Thanks, Teddy. Just thought I'd share that with you. I know you're quite a fisherman. That picture was taken the year I caught a 14-inch trout.
Jeez. It's a nice big fish.
I see it's that time again. Good luck, sir. I heard your last month's score was a little low. Not that the fellows were talking about it or anything.
Yeah? Well, that was last month.
Sir, how would you like this processed? Is it to be tested for something?
I got it out of the vending machine in the lobby.
Well, sir, I believe the company who services the vending machine is quite reputable. So unless anyone has experienced food poisoning, I would suggest we forego any testing at this time.
Alright,
Did you know Hickman, Teddy?
Yes, sir. His work with Crash always had him up here. I can't tell you how many guns he brought through here. It's amazing he lived for as long as he did working that detail.
Teddy, you ever work with the guys over at Air Support? I worked with them the other night. Good guys, all of them.
I've met a few of them. I particularly remember Lieutenant Hale, a real fine officer.
Teddy, what was the strangest thing ever brought through here?
That would be hard to say, sir. We've had teeth, eyeballs, false and otherwise. We've probably seen just about everything you can imagine and then some.
How's the property business, Teddy?
Busier than ever, Detective. The amount of crime is unbelievable these days. Good news is, our recovery and arrest rate is high, or I wouldn't be so busy.
I had a run-in with a reporter, Teddy. Did you hear anything about it?
Yes, sir. Everybody was talking about it, and I saw it on TV. It sure looked like you swung at her, sir. I mean, the camera angle and all.
Baker, do you miss the streets?
Sometimes I do, Detective. But then I think about my kids. You know, my wife just gave me a son, and I can't imagine going back out there. Ever since I was shot, I feel better behind a desk, sir.
It's like I swung, like Carey swung at the reporter. Yeah, right.
Working out a lot, Teddy?
Yes, sir. I'm attempting the department's Ironman competition. I'm bench pressing 350 regularly.
Damn.
Seen any good movies lately, Baker?
No, Detective. I've been training real hard for the Ironman competition. I haven't had the time.
Seen any good movies?
No,
Working out a lot?
Yes.
How's the property business? Seen any good... Teddy, you ever work with the guys? Did you know Teddy, you ever... What do you think of the Raiders this year?
They should go back to Oakland.
Seen any good movies?
No.
How are things going? Seen any good... Did you know... Baker, do you... Teddy, what was the... How's the property... Teddy, you ever... Seen any good... Teddy, how's the property business, Teddy? I had a run-in. How are things going, Teddy?
Pretty good, Detective. Went fishing last week. Got skunked.
Alright, so, curious, man. If I hold on to these, I can give them to him later. Maybe. I'm gonna save it before I give them to him. I'm gonna see. I'm debating. I was gonna take it over to the coroner's office, but I'll just turn him in.
Detective Carey, how would you like these handled?
I'd like a ballistics check run on them.
Those two items...
Okay.
I'd like a...
Self-storage, refrigerate, freeze. Shelf storage, I think.
I'll write up the paperwork for the ballistics test. Then they'll be shelf stored if you need them in the future for trial, sir.
Yeah.
I'll have this filled out in a second, sir.
You're at the property counter. You're at the... Yep.
Teddy, you ever...
Guess that's it.
Yep.
Sir, are you all...
Yep.
Alright. So I guess I don't need anything else. We'll go... upstairs.
Pressing the button, you call the elevator.
We gotta fill out a report for the day.
You select the 3rd floor as your destination. It's your very own desk.
Hello, robbery homicide. This is Detective Carey. May I help you?
Yo, baby, what's up? Be emo. You be wanting a piece of the straight action, huh? I got the news for you. I know some straight-up talk. Yo, baby, yo, you hear me talking?
Yes, Emo, I'm here. Are you telling me that you have information concerning last night's murders?
Straight up, baby. I'll be waiting by the field if you be interested.
Okay, we met him earlier. Nothing in the, nothing in the in and out baskets. I don't know if we can put this back in.
The drawer provides safekeeping.
Nice.
You take a 3.14 follow-up report form out of your desk drawer.
Go ahead and see if we can't write up a report.
There is no need to complete an additional report on the incidents regarding the alley at this time.
Okay. So, I don't know if I can put that in or not. Can I?
A more professional attitude toward your duties is called for, Detective.
Nope, guess not. Alright, so... what was it?
The photograph taken of you and Hickman at the lake, the time you caught the big one. Ask for the bet. The photograph taken of you and Hickman at the lake, the time you caught the big one.
She can't look at it again. That's weird.
The drawer provides safekeeping.
Trying to hang up. Okay. So we're gonna go to South Central, where Emo is.
Yeah?
Oh, he's on the phone.
I don't have time now, Carey. I'll talk to you later.
Alright, so we're gonna go out there.
You call the elevator.
If I'm not mistaken, this is an elevator door, and this is an elevator door. Like, there were two of them. And I have been on this floor. I think it was the 3rd floor for homicide.
You select the lobby as your destination.
Save it here. We need that. Get your armor ready. All right, here we go. It's an ambush.
Your T-bird makes for excellent cover. Quiet. Don't give your position away.
Police!
That should provide some protection. Quiet. Don't give your cover away. Keep quiet. Don't give your position away. Quiet. Don't give your cover away. The street looks like a battlefield. You're hit. Lucky it's only a graze. He's an undercover cop. It must be Lieutenant Jim Varaz. You're hit. Detective, there's no need to identify yourself. He knows you're LAPD. Don't move. You'll lose your cover. You're hit. Don't move, Detective. Keep your cover. You're hit.
All right. Just trying to see what I could look at.
That should provide some protection. You're hit. Lucky it's only a graze. You're hit. You're hit.
Oh, I died. I'm trying to figure out how you just hit me around. You're hit and killed. You have now become a statistic. Alright.
That should provide some protection. You're hit. Lucky it's only a graze.
Police!
You're hit. You're hit. You're hit.
Oh, bull. Alright.
To attempt to enter your vehicle and drive away will surely result in death. Take cover and defend your position. That should provide some protection. You're hit. You can't reach your trunk from here. You're hit. You unlock the shotgun carry. Department issued 12-gauge shotgun shells. Department issued Ithaca 12-gauge shotgun. Handle all ammunition with extreme care. There's nothing like the feel of a 12-gauge shotgun. There is no need to reload your shotgun at this time. There is no need to reload at this time. You're hit. You're hit.
Oh, I got killed still. Alright.
That should provide some protection. You're hit. Lucky it's only a graze. You're hit. Lucky it's only a graze. You're hit.
Oh wow, I actually got him with the pistol. Let's see if I can... I'm gonna restore it. I kinda wanna use a shotgun.
That's...
Alright, come on.
I want...
Alright, so... Last time. But get down, click again and again.
That.
Keys on the trunk. Oh, what the hell?
You're hit. Lucky it.
That was weird.
That. You. You're hit. You're hit.
Oh, you can't do it.
You're hit.
So
You're
weird.
hit.
It wouldn't let me switch over to the mouse. It's kind of annoying. Alright.
That.
Oh, you mother...
You're...
Please! If you click the... You click the keys too far out, then... it gets you killed somehow.
That. You're... You... You're hit. You're hit. You're hit.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Trying to get some pistol action in there, too. With the shotgun.
That.
Oh, that's weird. Weird glitch.
You're hit. You unlock the... You're... You're hit. You're hit.
Tell me I got him. Oh. So bizarre, man. I thought I had him.
Oh! That. You're hit.
Twice.
You
3 times.
You're hit.
Alright, we got him. Hell yeah. Damn, that's crazy, man.
So what's it gonna be, Carey? You gonna act like a pro or a spoiled brat? Have I made a mistake in assigning you a lead investigator on this case?
No, sir, I'll
have you know I've had dozens of calls this morning on you shoving that reporter yesterday. Everybody in town, from the chief to the mayor to outraged Joe citizen, saw you push her. Damn, you were all over the news.
Lieutenant, it wasn't...
Besides you appearing uncooperative, you were downright politically incorrect. You shove one more reporter, and the department's going to get slapped with a civil suit. Shoving anybody else, and I'm going to give you the boot myself.
Lieutenant, I'd like to explain.
Then there's the small issue of last night's events, Carey. Would you mind telling me what you were doing in the middle of a crash sting operation?
Sir, I received a telephone call from a possible informant. I set up a meeting. I walked into an ambush.
So it would seem, Carey, so it would seem. However, your tete-a-tete cost the department thousands of dollars and months of work. Crash has been undercover for months on that operation. They were a fly's hair away from busting a gun-running ring wide open. With your help, the only catch they made was that local punk, Spiff. Luckily for you, your informant, what's his name, Emo? What kind of name is that? Has turned into a little songbird. Emo's sitting pretty in the hospital, singing how Spiff's the one who killed the Washington boy. Emo contends that Spiff wanted the boy to deliver guns to gang members, and he wouldn't do it. The only redeeming aspect of this whole affair is that Hickman's gun was found in Spiff's apartment when they entered under warrant. SID is running ballistics on Spiff's gun to see if they match the slugs taken from the dead boy. And speaking of SID, they've run ballistics on your firearms, and they're ready to be picked up.
That was
The
fast.
police commission's going to want to know where and into whom your bullets went last night. These tests are vital. Check with Chester before you head out.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Sir, it would appear to me that if Spiff is found to be connected to the Washington boy's murder, might not he also be connected to Bob's?
It doesn't work that way, Carey. While you were out being a cowboy, another body showed. The M.O. is similar, very similar. Again, it's one of our own. His name is Rene Garcia. Worked out of Hollenbeck. Garcia's body was found on the front lawn of a singer. What do they call those guys? Rappers? By the name of Yo Money. Must be some big star. I'm getting static from upstairs. Anyways, Garcia was found by this money man's bodyguard. He was walking a lady to her car that had been there for a party about 4 a.m. I want you to get over there and see what's going on. And remember, Carey, no cowboy tricks. Just try and be nice, okay?
Lieutenant...
Carey, you have your assignment.
Okay.
I don't need a Valium. I'm not stressed out.
Have you turned into Mr. Fix-It? Have you turned in... Lieutenant Block has a desk job. He really doesn't require a Kevlar vest.
What do you...
Yeah? You can just drop dead. Goddamn broads. Hey, Junior, that was quite a shootout last night. Heard all about it. You're goddamn lucky one of those punks didn't blow your head off. I want you to listen up, Junior. Playing cowboy only takes you so far in this damn job. If you want to make it as long as I have, you're gonna have to curb your appetite for action. You hear me, Junior? You're just goddamn lucky you weren't killed.
Where was my partner last night? Alright, so we need to do some paperwork.
You complete a 3.14 documenting the gunfight and the players involved in the ambush.
Alright, and we'll give this to Hal.
It's your very own desk.
Nothing else.
There's nothing much in there, just old memos. Give the form you have to Hal so he can put it in your murder book. Hal appears immersed in his work. Better leave him be.
Oh, mother... Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I need him off the phone.
The door's open. I don't have time now, Carey. I'll talk to you later.
Hal, get off the phone. Damn it, Hal.
These walls get painted every 5 years or so. It indicates your exit choices. What you see, these walls, leave it in place, Carey. People often get confused when coming and going. Your actions, the walls, feel like walls.
Son of a bitch. Okay, we need to talk to him. I can't believe that. I'm gonna skip through all the speech and everything.
That.
So annoying. Oh,
you're hit.
That's the thing about older games, man. Sometimes they do stuff like that.
That. You're hit.
Jeez. For the love of God, come on.
That.
Please.
Oh my God. What am I?
That.
Nope. That's not what I wanted.
Please.
There we go. Okay, let's do this.
You're hit. Lucky it's only a graze.
You're dead.
You're hit.
Alright. I'm gonna skip through this speech real quick. We do need to talk to Hal. There's questions.
So what's it gonna be?
No.
I'm just hitting all the... skipping all the buttons. All the speech, I mean. Come on. Come on, come on, come on.
The only...
Come on. Alright, there we go.
Yeah? God damn it.
Yeah, okay, Hickman's gun.
Hal, what have you heard about the retrieval of Hickman's gun?
They found the damn thing under that punk Spiff's flea-bitten mattress. SID's running ballistics as we speak, Junior.
It was quite a shootout, Hal. They had automatic weapons.
Damn right they did, Junior. That's their gun of choice nowadays. Hell, we ain't hardly got a fighting chance against those gangsters. You know, Junior, the big boys are gonna be wanting to talk to you about this. You might just think about talking to one of the shrinks first. You know? Get it all in perspective.
My guns were taken last night to have ballistics run, so in case there is an inquiry, the big guys will know where my bullets went.
You gotta love the Force, Junior. They're looking out for you. And you remember, you get nightmares, you gotta see one of them shrinks. You're just damn lucky you made it out alive, kid. Damn lucky.
You complete a...
Okay, so we did the shootout.
You'll need to stand up and move to accomplish that.
Yes, well. There we go. Now I'm standing up.
Here you go, Hal.
Sure, Junior.
Alright, nothing else.
You take a 3.14 follow-up report form out of your desk drawer.
After each incident and maybe an interview or something, you can try to write another report.
You do not need to write another report on the ambush in which you found yourself. And not everybody or everything has a sweet tooth.
You trying to kill me? I got diabetes, Junior. What are you showing that to me for? I ain't no scientist.
I found these at Hickman's, Hal. You think maybe he was abusing?
Don't ask me. How the hell should I know? You need that on the streets nowadays, Junior.
Yeah, especially nowadays for the cops. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to save it here. That's it. Now we're on Tuesday, right? So we'll save it here, and hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if it's helped you, and if you like it, give it a thumbs down if it's not, and you don't like it. And subscribe to my channel so you can see more content like this, and hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I post new videos. So now we're on, I guess you can technically call it day 3, but it's Tuesday. And we're going to go over to Yo Money's place and make some inquiries there and talk about the murders. There was another murder over there on their lawn, I believe. So we'll go check that out on the next video, okay? So keep an eye out for the next video, and I will see you on that next video about that. I hope you're enjoying. It's fun. It is kind of lengthy. I'm not as talkative on it because there's a lot of speech in this game. So I'll try to be a little bit more talkative though. But hopefully these are helping as a walkthrough or a playthrough. Hopefully it's helping as a walkthrough. Hopefully you're enjoying it as a playthrough. How about that? So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. And until then, stay safe.